I would like to take this time to commend Naturi Naughton for displaying a level of Omarion-like maturity and emotional intelligence against what some people would argue has been a very bad week for her. Now, I was going to start that video or this video like that, like, wow, it's been a really hard week for Naturi. And then I had to rethink and think about it like this. Naturi has the pleasure, whether she wants to or not, and I'm sure she does not. She has the pleasure of living rent-free inside the head of two very miserable individuals. That is 50 Cent and Lil Kim. And I'm going to get into both of them in this video. The first part is going to be 50 Cent. Second part, Lil Kim. I'm going to end with Lil Kim because a couple of things have come out since my last video. Now, Naturi has been in this business for well over 20 years. You never hear anything. You've never heard anything about her. She just minds her business, her unproblematic business. She does her work. She loves on her husband and her child. And you just don't hear nothing about her. I think the most dramatic thing we ever heard about Naturi is when she got smacked upside the head with some mashed potatoes and chicken by Keely Pamete Williams from the group 3LW. And my phone is now wet because I spit the hell all over it. Keely's family and friends must always be on wet mode. But anyway, let me get back. I got ADD, y'all. Anyway, Naturi has just been unproblematic. Even when she decided to walk away from that toxic group because she realized and felt that she was not being treated properly because she was being basically singled out as the dark-skinned girl. They didn't want her up front. She decided to walk away and basically start over. She went back to school. She went to college. She went and got student loans just like any other regular person. And then she decided she wanted to try her hand at acting again. She acted in a few plays. She was in lots and lots of commercials. And then she got what she considers the role of a lifetime when she auditioned several times, by the way, and landed the role of Lil Kim in Notorious. Now, I'm going to get into that later, which is kind of like a part 2 of my first video. But, again, she has been completely unproblematic. Being a part of the Power cast for the last 6 seasons, whether you like her character or not, again, she has been consistently and constantly working. In everybody's mind, she is Tasha, right? A beautiful black woman, never been afraid of her blackness, never once have tried to alter her looks, change it up. Like, she is cool. She is a queen. She loves her blackness, right? And I appreciate her for that. I absolutely love her for that. Now, 50 Cent, who I still don't understand for the life of me why people like this guy. He is just a troll in real life, right? He is a human troll. He decided to go after his co-star in the last couple of weeks, which I just think was utterly disgusting. Again, a black woman, a dark-skinned black woman who has challenges as it is being recognized and respected, black women in general, about our hair, about all the kind of things that affect black women. But he decided to go after Naturi. Now, not too long ago, 50 Cent and Naturi visited Capitol Hill. They're singing here, right here with Bobby Rush. They visited Capitol Hill. It was something that had to do with like Hollywood, Black Stars, something like that. Okay, don't quote me. I'm not, but whatever. She took a picture with Nancy Pelosi as well, where you could see like her hair pulled back, and someone turned it into a meme. And of course, 50 Cent, being 50 Cent, decided to tweet it and said, "Power never ends. Ghost effed up the edges, LOL." Now, a lot of people took issue with that and began to drag him because, again, here he is dragging this black woman, somebody that's supposed to be his friend that he just was at Capitol Hill with, posing with, and he decides to make fun of her hair. Make fun of her hair. And when people called him out and came at him, he decided to kind of like, in his only way that 50 could apologize, oh, my bad, I'm sorry. Now, he got kicked off of Instagram, right? Instagram had, 50 Cent has been trolling people for a really long time. So they finally kicked him off of Instagram. So he took his trolling to Twitter and came back at her again. He said, who the F did this? Power is number one. Never forgetting to mention Power, right? But again, went from Instagram to Power, and Naturi responded like this. She said, at 50 Cent, did we have a fight and I not know about it? So confused. Hashtag so much for Power fam. Hashtag final season. And then she said, there's so much I want to say, but you don't even have an Instagram account. So why waste my characters or come out of my character? And again, I commend her for keeping it together when I'm sure she could have went the hell off. And I'm very, very disappointed that I didn't see any of her co-stars publicly condemning what he said and saying something to him. It's possible that they privately reached out and said, dude, stop. But if he's going to publicly troll her and humiliate her, they could have publicly said something to him. And, this just goes back to what I've always thought about 50 Cent and what I can't stand about him. Now, I did a video months ago about 50 Cent when he came after his oldest son. And the truth of the matter is, if he doesn't even spend this much time saying anything to his oldest boy. If he's giving that much energy to his oldest son, maybe they would have a relationship. 50 is an awful human being. I don't understand why people like him. I could never imagine having a child in this world and being the way he is to that child and the way he favors that youngest, lighter-skinned boy with the Asian woman over his oldest son with Shaniqua. Now, as you might know or may not know, 50 Cent hates Shaniqua, okay? They've had this on and off, they just hate each other, right? And I'm sure Shaniqua has some part to play in all of this, but at the end of the day, 50 Cent came for her neck. And his son, doing what most boys do when it comes to their mamas, he sided with his mother. At the end of the day, he was like, that's my mama. You cannot come at her like that. And he disowned his son. He even went as far as saying something like, you know what? If he dies, I wouldn't even care. Now, a lot of people are trying to justify his actions like, well, the reason why he's upset with his son because his son was hanging out with his enemy and all this other bull. At the end of the day, this is the grown-up. This is the father, and that was the son. And the way he has treated his son over the years should tell somebody something like this is a man that is a disgusting human being. And for somebody that's going to say, well, y'all watch Power, you watch Power, he is an executive producer. Executive producers can be replaced. He is not the creator of Power, okay? He was an actor on Power and an executive producer. He may have directed a couple of those really bad episodes. But other than that, he was replaceable and could be replaceable. He was more like the marketing guy because you see him always marketing. Even when he came after Naturi, he was still pushing Power. Can you believe that? Humiliating this black woman while hashtagging the show that she is on that made you a lot of money. How disgusting is that? It's bad enough that black women are constantly policed about their hair and how they wear their hair. I don't give a damn if she was bald. That black man should not have done that to that black woman. And people sitting here just thinking it's funny. They're like, well, he's just joking. When does it become enough? When does jokes become just like too much? Because he's done it to many people. Not just Naturi, but he constantly going after people on social media. Constantly. Now, I ain't never wished death on nobody, and I do not wish death on anybody, except for child molesters and stuff like that. But now when I see that this man got shot 9 times in his past, I kind of I can see why they did, okay? Now, he's the demon that wouldn't die, obviously, but you can kind of see oh, okay, well, I can kind of see why they did it. Because he is just an awful human. And I just did not appreciate the fact that he came for her. Again, she has never once, even when she could have said something to him and came back at him, she still wasn't nasty. She was not nasty. She absolutely was. She didn't cuss him out. She didn't do any of that. She responded in a very classy, comeback. All right? Just a really classy clapback. She did not come back at him crazy. It was just, like I said, it was very respectful. But again, here's Naturi living inside this dude's head. Like I said, I wish he would show that much attention to his oldest son, but whatever. Now, that's the first miserable person that I have decided to talk about on this video. Now, the second miserable ass human that I'm going to discuss on this video is, of course, Lil Kim. Now, I did a video about the Hollywood Unlocked interview that she did with kiss asses Jason Lee and Melissa Ford. Melissa Ford is sitting there lying to her, talking about nobody wanted Naturi. Like, I'm still trying to find the people that didn't want Naturi. But the reason why I felt like Melissa Ford brought up that interview anyway is because, well, they didn't want to talk about that flop album, that went triple aluminum foil, okay? That went triple grocery bag under the sink, okay? That's what they didn't want to talk about. So they decided to be messy. Melissa Ford decided to be messy. I'm sure her and Jason Lee conspired to talk about this, to be messy and bring it up. So she was all over in social media yesterday. People was kind of going at her, and she said, she was responding to somebody that was supporting her. She said, and I've been super quiet, but as soon as I say something, these haters come out of the cemetery. F out of here. I'm sick of their shit, and I'm sick of this whack B. She is talking about Naturi. Again, disrespecting her. Naturi has said nothing mean about Lil Kim, but Lil Kim cannot seem to be respectful to her. Now, once again, there's a lot of people under my comments saying, well, she has a right to not want Naturi. She has a right to want to choose. Yeah, if it was her movie, yes, if it was the Lil Kim story, she has every right to want to choose. But again, Naturi did attempt to reach out to her. Naturi respected and admired her. And instead of Lil Kim saying, well, she's nothing like me, Lil Kim could have guided this woman. But I'm going to let you guys listen for yourself from Naturi's own words how it went down. Please listen.
I decided if I'm going to do Lil Kim, I'm going to murder it. I'm not going to halfway this character. So if she got her titties out, we going to have the titties out. If she's going to, spread her legs Queen Bee style, I'm going to have to spread my legs Queen Bee style. On the stage, I learned everything. I embraced the tone, the style, the swag, Brooklyn. I made sure the best way that I could. I wanted to honor her, A, because I thought she was so dope. And, I grew up loving, like, Notorious B.I.G., Junior Mafia. It was legendary. So I just wanted to do it justice. And I did my absolute best, and I'm really proud of the work I did. I would never take on a role of a real-life person that is alive and well and not try to speak with them and reach out. So for the record, for all those interviews or things that people have heard where they said, oh, Naturi didn't even try to get in touch with Lil Kim, lies. Let's clear the record. At the time, there was a manager, I think, that was managing Kim. I think his name was Un. I called. I left multiple voicemails. The director of the film, George Tillman, was like, we're going to put you guys together so you can ask questions. So I'm thinking, great. I never forget, I was at the production office in Brooklyn, New York. Kim comes off the elevator. I happened to be there for rehearsal. Huge, beautiful fur. She looks like, I was like, oh my gosh, the queen is here. She walks right by me with her crew, goes into the director's office. He closed the door. All I hear is, what the They're arguing, they're yelling. It gets heated, and I was like, I hope this is not about me. But it was, because I guess there was some miscommunication about how the casting process. But again, I'm just an actress. I was just hired to do a part. So I was hoping and praying. I reached out via phone and tried that time in person.
Maybe Kim didn't get portrayed in the light that she wanted, but Naturi was doing her job as an actor, and she looks up to Lil Kim. So which most female rappers do, because Lil Kim is legendary.
Maybe my look had something to do with it. Again, it started to replay the memories of 3LW saying, like, you're not good enough, or because I was, I guess, darker than she thought the character should have been. That was...
All right, so you heard it out of Naturi's own mouth, something that we have said for a while, that people have been saying for a while. And here's my thing with Lil Kim. She is projecting her anger upon the wrong person. Naturi is merely an actress portraying a part. Lil Kim, as I've seen in several interviews and several things and just reports about the movie, she was begged pretty much to be a part of this production, and she kept shunning it, turning it away. So she is mad at the wrong person. She could have been a part of this. She could have guided Naturi. If she wanted Naturi to just have a certain swag about her, whatever she wanted to have about her, she could have guided that. But the truth of the matter is, we know why she didn't want Naturi. Naturi said it. Violetta Wallace said it. We know. Now, I don't understand why she's not mad at Diddy. Faith Evans. Faith, they were both consultants on this movie, as well as several people involved with Junior Mafia, people, Biggie's managers. Why are you mad at her? Because they portrayed you as a side chick. And this was Naturi's. I'm just showing you. This is Naturi's response from yesterday after all that stuff with Lil Kim on Twitter. But anyway, let me get back. Why is she not upset with Diddy? Because at the end of the day, you let somebody else tell your story. Naturi was simply the vessel in which told it. But you let other people turn you into a side chick. If you didn't want that story to be written about you, you could have been in there, in that room with those writers, and you could have helped mold and shape that story if you wanted a different view of yourself. So clearly, Biggie's managers, Diddy, Faith Evans, obviously, considered you a jump off. So be mad at them and don't be mad at Naturi. But again, we know why you are mad at Naturi. You are mad at her because she was too dark for you. You kept talking about you want somebody from Brooklyn to play you. You wanted Christina Milian, which you, again, you're denying that you said that. But Christina Milian wasn't from Brooklyn. I don't remember hearing her talk about she's from Brooklyn. I ain't never heard that. Let's be clear. If Kim had her way, and listen, let's be clear. She can go off and make her own movie. This was Biggie Smalls' movie. So for those people saying, well, she has a right to say who she wants to play. Yeah, if it was her production. And yeah, if she had stepped her ass up in the production and did the work that it took to cast people, she had the opportunity. She turned it down. She was mad. But if she makes her own movie, which she can do, right? I would watch that. You can cast who you want. So, girl, if Christina Milian is available, if J-Lo ain't doing nothing, if Cardi B ain't putting out no records and you want them to play and they want to do it, go and pick your Latina who you really want. Okay? All right? Or Jackie Chan, because you are pretty much a Chinese person right now. I don't understand. But anyway, you're mad at the wrong person. You're mad at the wrong person. But again, I salute Naturi. I salute Naturi for having the wherewithal to never get out of character, to have always spoken highly of Kim. Kim lies when she sits here and talk about that this woman has badmouthed her. I have watched so many videos of Naturi speaking on this, and never once has her story changed, and never once has she spoken negatively about her. Lil Kim hates herself so much that she just didn't want to see herself in a darker skinned woman. She just didn't. Talking about Tiana Taylor, and people are like, well, Tiana Taylor is dark and all. But Tiana Taylor at the time of production, which was actually 2007, not 2009, the movie came out in 2009. Tiana Taylor was no more than 15 or 16 years old, so make it make sense, okay? Make it make sense. And she wasn't even an actress at the time. And I don't think she's a good actress now, all right? So, you know, that's just my little shade on her. But anyway, yeah, I just feel like at the end of the day, Naturi wins, this beautiful, strong black queen, because she lives rent-free inside two very miserable, hateful human beings. And for that, I salute her. She has the emotional intelligence that I only wish to have one day, that Omarion type unbothered that I wish to have one day. And I salute her. And she's victorious when it at the end of the day. She just is. So that's that on that. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.